Government of Canada has given Canadians a gift for Christmas. They have announced GST breaks for this festive season. It's gonna cost them $1.8 billion from December 14th to February 15th. GST on restaurant meals, prepared meals, children clothing, toys, party platters, beer, wine, etc., etc., anything non-essential would be 5% cheaper. Okay. Apart from that, just following the step taken by Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, who is due to give $200 to all the Ontarians, Justin Trudeau started something like that, and he decides to pay $250 to all the Canadians who have worked and made up to $150,000 in 2023. This is going to cost them another $4.7 billion, 18.7 million Canadians are going to be paid. Well, this is in total $6.3 billion that Liberal government is paying to buy votes for their next election. Justin Trudeau said that the inflation is cooling off slowly, which is true. The inflation is actually cooling off, and it wasn't right before to give such package when the inflation was high. That would put more pressure on inflation and prices would go further. That is right. Inflation is cooling slowly because people are buying essential things only. Non-essential things are not being bought by the people. The GST is removed on the items that are non-essential. People were not buying these things. It is a good gesture. This gesture has been appreciated by retailers because they were not having a good business throughout the year. There will be more activity in the economy, no doubt. But the inflation is gonna be ramped up. And you know, if you have watched my previous video, the inflation is on the rise because of the high prices in essential things, the grocery items, the food that we buy in the stores. They are more expensive. And in winter season, we have to import vegetables and fruits from United States of America. Because it is cold here, we cannot harvest those things here, so we have to go to California, we have to go to Arizona, Louisiana to import these things from here and there because they are warmer region. So inflation is going to go further, and these essential items are going to get more expensive. Nothing is stopping that. The second thing, that $250 check, it's not gonna come to people's pocket during winter. It's gonna come in somewhere in spring, in March probably of 2025. Our government is spending, it is overspending, it is in the habit of overspending. Our government is habitual of creating deficit. We have been running budget deficit for so many years. As of this year, we are standing at $40 billion in deficit. The $6.3 billion would be added to it. The national debt will go further up, and our currency is declining against US dollar, which is gonna get worse and worse. Well, I am happy that government is doing something for the people. But there are some people who are not happy. Those people are non-working people. One thing needs to be mentioned here: people who are retired, people who had lost their jobs because they have lost this job in a country where the unemployment level is touching the sky, 6.5%. Those people are not qualified. These are some of the people who actually need that $250 that could help them in their life. They are not eligible for that. There's a little story. A 69-year-old man, Edmonton resident, Neil Pierce. He has a 99-year-old woman, his mother, and both of them are receiving CPP and OAS. He says that my mother gets so excited when she hears this news. But when I explain to her that she is not eligible for it, she gets so disappointed. I want to read some more stories that are coming out now. Elizabeth Mary Donlevy, a 93-year-old woman from Ontario, Woodstock, she says that Justin Trudeau, he's penalizing people for being over 65. You should be out there working on getting a living so that we are eligible for his largesse. She said that $250 would mean a lot to her, and it wouldn't be a lot for someone who's making six-figure salary, and that makes sense. Someone who is making $100,000 and over, somebody who's making $150,000, he does not need this check. This check, $250, is not gonna do anything for him or her. He might be as well. He say that, okay, give it to someone who actually needs it. So I don't really understood the rationale behind giving this check to people who are making above six figure. And it only gets worse for the people with limited income. Stephen Leparrier, a general manager in a Montreal-based advocacy group for people with disability, he says that it's like saying, well, sorry guys, we know that you cannot work because of your disability, or you cannot find a job because of your disability, but you are not eligible for this $250 check. This is horrendous, honestly. Oh, our Prime Minister, who was here yesterday on Friday in the morning, and in the evening he was due to be in Taylor Swift concert because he happens to be Swiftie. Right, so he arranged some press conference in Brampton in the afternoon, and he answered this question. He said that for older people, we increased old age security by 10%. It was earlier, and it is going up. So we don't care. Actually, we don't care if they received this $250 as a gift, as a holiday gift or affordability gift, because this is for working Canadians only. Anyway, this government is calling it an affordability package. To me, it is not an affordability package. Mortgages are high, rents are high, grocery bills are high. These are the areas where people need help. These are the areas when people get into trouble, when these things become unaffordable. Nobody cares if somebody cannot afford to buy these non-essential products on which this GST has been removed right now. But people care if they are unable to afford their mortgages, rents, and grocery bills. This is just the stunt of this government. Okay, what they're doing is they know that people have saved money by not spending money on these non-essential products. People have been saving money in the banks. It has been record saving this year. Last year it was 4.9%. Now household savings is at 7.2%. People have saved money. Of course, they were having trouble with their rents, with their affordability and everything, but they still saved money because they were getting a better return from the banks because the interest rates were high. Now this government, Justin Trudeau, knows that there's a lot of savings people are having in their banks, so let's get that out. Let me give them a GST break on the non-essential items, the items that they were not buying, so that they would take their savings out, put them into the economy, buy those products, and the economy will start working, and there will be some performance in the economy, which would be another positive for them, that would be helping them in getting more votes. So it's all about election now. So instead of affordability, I would call it a stimulus package. What is going to happen now is that, first thing first, that a lot of mistakes would be made by the retailers, because they will have to change their machines, their systems twice, on December 14 first, and then in February 15. And they have to know, and they have to do a lot of work to make sure that only those products get GST off that government has allowed. And rest assured that a lot of people would end up paying GST on the products they were not supposed to pay. All right, so there are going to be a lot of difficulties for the retailers and for the buyers. They would be arguing on different products in the store. So rest assured, you'll be seeing a lot of stuff going on during the holiday season. Remember that GST is goods and services tax. It's a federal tax. It's 5% across the Canada. There's another tax, PST, provincial sales tax. When provincial sales tax and goods and services tax, they combine, it becomes harmonized sales tax, HST. So when we go shop and we come across some tax that is called HST, it's not GST. So in Ontario, we are paying around 13% of harmonized tax. In Atlantic Canada, in Atlantic provinces, they pay 15%. It is different for different provinces. Except for Alberta, Alberta does not charge any provincial taxes. They have only one GST 5%. A lot of provinces are also complaining because this break of GST also hit their provincial tax revenues. This step of the government is welcomed, but I think that government should have done something else too. For example, they would have done a better service to people by lowering personal income taxes. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.